Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know this isn't necessarily the time to maybe want to think about this, or maybe if you're in the situation it is. I wanted to talk about something that's been weighing heavily on my heart lately, and that is domestic violence. The first thing that I want to talk about is kind of what it is, give an overview of what it's like to live that life. And then I want to also address kind of law and how it really is not helpful. It isn't helpful for us to get out or helpful for the aggressor to learn anything. So sit down, pour yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever you wish to drink. So we're going to get started. I wanted to talk about it because I saw a situation where a woman in our state capital, I live in Indiana, was murdered in the presence of her 2-year-old child by a significant other. And it was domestic violence related. And she literally had called the police, I don't know how many times. And the last call that she made to the cops was about 9 hours before she was murdered. And she literally asked the 911 operator, from everything that I've read, how many people got to die before you help? And it isn't that the police don't want to help, because they do. Some of them get jaded because they've seen so many situations where women are out there, they get them free, and then they go back. And I understand domestic violence isn't necessarily man-on-woman violence. It can be violence between any partner. So women can be aggressors too. And I'm not disputing that fact, but I'm going to speak from a place that I'm familiar with, because I, again, experienced it. I'm a survivor. I will never, ever go back to that kind of situation. So how it normally starts out is there's a honeymoon phase. It's so wonderful. Like, he tells you how wonderful you are. He tells you how amazing and beautiful and smart and incredible you are. And you're just, he puts you on a pedestal and you are the queen. Like, he treats you like you are the greatest thing. But that's short-lived, because the true him's going to come out soon. And it's going to be slow, but it's kind of a manipulation thing. So he knows that if you don't stick around, then he can't have somebody to prey on. He can't have somebody that makes his meals. He can't have somebody to do the things that he wants to do. So he might treat you nice to begin with, but then he starts nitpicking. Well, you don't clean the trash can out quite well enough. Like, I'm not happy with it. You left crumbs in the sink. There's a coffee cup in the sink. All your dishes are dirty. Just stuff. And so you go behind him and you're trying to do everything you can to please him. It gets a little worse. I really wish you could cook like my mom. I really wish that you made eggs like she does. You can't cook like she does because you don't make gravy like she does. You better go ask her how to do it, because I don't know if I can live with this cooking. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad cook. It just means that he's a jerk and he's trying to break you down a little at a time. So then it progresses. That dress makes you look fat. I didn't want to tell you, but I thought you'd want to know, so I'm trying to be honest with you. And they laid out like they're doing you a favor. They're not. They are trying to get you to stay, but at the same time, they're trying to break you down so that you will lose your value. So then they might tell you, you're wearing that. Okay. So then you're second guessing every choice that you make. And the choice that you should be second guessing was your choice to be with him. But a lot of us want to just make our loved one happy, the one that we have chosen. So will go out of her way to try to fix the things that he finds wrong. And it doesn't get better. Then he might start picking at your family. Well, do you remember the other night when we were at your mom's house and you got up and went to the bathroom? You should have heard what she was saying about you. So he might either make something up at this point, or he might take a half-truth. Like, Mom might have said, man, that girl, she is a talker. She will talk to anybody. Just gab, gab, gab. And that's me, because Mom gets frustrated when I get in the store, just like my dad used to do. And I don't know a stranger, and I will stand and talk to somebody I've never met for 20 minutes just because they wanted to have a conversation. Okay. He'll take that and he'll say, your mom said you just can't keep your mouth shut no matter what. She said that you run your mouth more than, just insert any adjective here. So then you start second guessing your relationship with your mom. And then he starts saying worse things. Well, you know what else your mom said? You know what she did? So then you pull yourself away and you isolate from your mother, from your friends, from your father, everybody. You're second guessing your own sister, which kind of that one I might get, but that's my trauma. So don't let him do that. Don't let him get away with that. Understand it for what it is. It's abuse. And this is kind of a narcissistic buildup. And he will start saying, can you do anything that I like? Or can you do anything to make me happy? Man, you better be glad you have me. Nobody else is going to put up with you. Ain't nobody going to want your fat self. And you're probably not even fat. Like, he just wants to break you down because he knows if you are healthy mentally and stable mentally, you will not put up with what's about to come. Because the next step will be something like he maybe pushes you and then says, oh, man, I'm so sorry. You just made me so angry. Which is a backhanded apology. See it for what it is and understand that he's making it your fault when he says that. He's not truly sorry and he's not apologizing. Don't try to do better for him. Be who you are and just get out, because he is not worth it. There is far better out there. There are men out there who will treat you like actual gold. They'll treat you like the queen, and that won't stop. That won't go away. Watch them. And when they start nitpicking, then you know. If they don't ever start nitpicking like that, and there's going to be some instances where they're not going to be happy with something that you've maybe said or done. And there might be minor arguments, but that man isn't going to put his hands on you. Whereas the one that I've been talking about, well, oh, he most definitely will. And it will progress. Like, it will start out with maybe, like I said, a shove. Or accidentally slamming you in a car door or a door at the house. Like, he might shut that door on you. And by this time, you're so defeated mentally that you're like, man, I really screwed up again. No, baby, you did not screw up again. This is his problem. That's not you. You didn't do it. You didn't make him do it. You didn't displease him to the point where he had to put his hands on you. Because, to be quite honest, if you love somebody, you don't put your hands on them. You don't mistreat them. Now, here's the problem. When it becomes physical, you can call the police and they will come out. And there are some states where they understand self-defense. So maybe if he's been beating you and you hit him to try to get him off you, they'll get that. You're not in trouble. There are other states or even counties within a state where they feel like, okay, both of you have hit each other, so now you're both going to jail. Don't give up your freedom for him. Not ever. I'm glad I never had to give up my freedom for. But that's kind of irrelevant. Here's where the problem lies. The judicial system. It isn't really the police that are the problem. Okay, in some cases they might be, but they come out and they're putting themselves at risk, stepping into a situation that they don't know, where there's already been fighting and abuse going on. So they'll come out and they'll try to figure out what's going on, and they'll do their best to do their jobs and be compassionate about it. But there are some out there who are like, you'll just go running right back. I don't know why I'm out here. This is ridiculous. Those are the bad ones. Ignore them. So the judicial system is the problem, because let me tell you something about prosecution and prosecutors. They offer plea deals, and here's why. Number one, it saves the county some money and the state, so they don't have to actually go through a trial. Here's where the problem comes from. So the plea agreement that they offer for domestic violence, most typically in most states, is 1 year with whatever time they served in jail counting toward the sentence. And then they normally don't have to serve the rest of the sentence. They're released that day and they're put on probation for the rest of the 1 year. So then they also have to take a class in some places. It's called anger management classes. And it's exactly that. It's a class. It's a course. It's propaganda more than anything. And they don't have counseling so that they might work through their issues and do better and be better. What they do in most cases is they mock the course, they mock the instructor, they mock everything involved in the course. So they're not better. They're going to be better. There was here in my county, actually here in my town, there was a police officer who was arrested for domestic violence. He beat his wife so bad that she lost her eye. You know what he got? You know that bogus plea agreement that I talked about? Yeah, that. So he didn't have to deal with anything in terms of various repercussions. Alexa, skip song. So they just walk around out there and they give the woman a protective order. And that's only valuable in the aspect of they can get a stiffer sentence if they violate the protective order. They don't really care about the protective order. That ain't going to stop them. If they want to beat you, they're going to beat you. But now here's the case, the deal. If they spend weeks in jail, maybe a couple months, they got a little bit of a cooling down period. So they're going to come out and they're right back to that honeymoon phase again. For about 2 weeks, they do everything you want. They treat you like gold. And then right back into the nitpicking and the beatings progress and they get worse. So get yourself out of there. There are domestic violence shelters out there. In most places, I know my state, you're allowed a 45-day stay. And that's how much the state will pay for. So that's why they only allow you to have 45 days. So get out. And in that 45 days, which, oh, by the way, state of Indiana, do better. Women are trying to put their lives back together. Most of them don't even have jobs when they've been beaten and mistreated. So give them a chance. Anyway, when you get in there, you're going to spend the first 24 to 48 hours wondering, why am I here? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Me. I need to get out of here. This isn't the place for me. I don't like it here. And then a lot of women end up back in the same situation. Most of the time, women end up back in the situation because of the laws that I talked about previously. And because of the sentences that are handed out. They're just ridiculous. Lawmakers do better. Please give us a higher minimum sentence because women are literally dying. They're being killed. I think that I might have mentioned, I'm not sure if I did, The woman who was shot in the presence of her 2-year-old child here in Indianapolis, our state capital. And she literally called the police 9 hours before she was murdered to ask them for help. And there had been several calls to the police, and he caught a couple of charges. So, anyway, she, in the last 911 call, asked, how many people gotta die before you help them? And like I said, it's not the police that don't want to help you. It's the system that they're frustrated too with how these criminals that they're catching, they're risking their lives to catch, are being released again, just right back out of the jail. It's like a revolving door. Make it make sense. We need higher minimum sentences. We need higher maximum sentences too. Because again, women are dying. Do better. Especially you, Indiana, because that's where I live. But, everybody needs to do better. So, maybe at a federal level, we need to have some sort of system. Like, they might say, this is what we need for minimum and for maximum. Like, they're going to set some parameters that states should follow. That way, we're a little bit safer. And we as women, if we stop putting up with abuse, if we see those red flags, we educate ourselves on those red flags before we ever get in a relationship. And we start, instead of romanticizing love, we start making it a real tangible thing that we want. But we have limits. We have boundaries, and boundaries are healthy, even in a relationship. Make those boundaries. Don't back off. First time he starts mistreating you verbally, don't let him get to a point where he's hitting you. Eventually, it's going to be to a point where these men aren't going to find women. They're not going to be able to keep them. So, they're going to have to shape up. If they don't, then they're just going to be lonely the rest of their lives. Know your worth. Have a wonderful day. I really hope this helps somebody. Get out. Just get out. Get out. That shelter, it's fine. It's a help. They'll give you resources for your community. They'll help you with resumes, getting jobs. Sometimes they help you direct yourself toward education, various other things. Do it. Your life may depend on it. Your children's lives may depend on it someday. That woman was pregnant. The one that got killed, pregnant. With the baby of the man who killed her. Let that kind of sink in. Baby, we see you. I've been there. I have a chronic illness that I'll live with for the rest of my life because of the abuse that I knew. I'll never live like that again. But I'll live with a chronic illness for the rest of my life. I'm kind of stuck. Life's never going to get any better in terms of my health when it comes to my condition. So don't let yourself get to that point either. Have a wonderful day. I hope you have a safe and happy holiday. Have a healthy holiday if you can. And just remember, you're so important to somebody. You have value. You can do this. You're stronger than you know. Find your strength. Prove it to you, yourself. I had to prove my own strength to myself when I got out. It's so worth it. Life is so great once you get back on your feet and you figure things out. Happy holidays.